Hey guys, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, as you see. Um, this is going to be update 105. I'm doing the intro a little bit early before I actually start doing something. But we're going to have some exciting, maybe some exciting news. It's exciting for me. And we're going to have something to show you here coming next Sunday, which you'll see this on Sunday. When you see this on Sunday, you'll know I'm doing something new. I guess that's what I mean to say. But anyway, let's get with the program. Okay, everybody, I guess what I'm going to start out with is we're going to make another big change on the layout. I know everybody's going, oh my God, maybe not. Maybe you're just going, oh well. But anyway, I think as many of you have known or suspected, I'm not really at all pleased with the engine house area. And Gavin came over to pick up some skirting for his layout and that Grandma had worked on. And we got to talking about options. And almost at the same time, he and I popped out with the same thinking in our head. And that is that the engine buildings, the car shop or shop, and the engine house are too linear with the yard itself. So it just makes that end look like a long stick holding a lollipop because of the round track that's on, that's on the outside. And when I look at it, that he came out with something like that, and then I was thinking the exact same thing when he was thinking it. Anyway, we got together. We thought, how can we make that? How could that be made different? Not how can we, but how could that be made to be more interesting? And for those of you who don't know, I had as you know, there's a bunch of concrete up there, okay? Plaster poured as concrete. There's also some ground cover up there that's glued down, and that concrete and the ground cover was some of the concrete. I'm not sure if all the concrete, some of the concrete was poured on top of, and the ground cover was poured on top of some Atlas foam sheets, the black foam sheets like their road bed is made out of. Well, let me tell you this, plaster and scenery material just doesn't work on that foam, because the minute you touch it, it pushes the foam down, cracks the scenery on the top surface, and it just becomes a mess. So I have some ideas for moving some of the track and some of the buildings and possibly getting rid of some track. But I'll go into what I'm thinking when I turn the camera around and actually show you that. But here's what I can tell you. All of the buildings and track are coming out of that circular area up there. At least for the time being, until I start moving stuff around and find out where I can fit things. But I'll get into it as I go and tell you some of the ideas that we had to try and improve this. But I'm not really going to go into those until I get stuff removed. So what I'm going to be doing today is removing the engine house and the car shop, and some of the pieces I want to save, like the ash pit, the steam ash pit, and the fuel rack. I'm going to try and get those out of there. I'm going to try and take track out, and I'm scraping everything in the center of that right back down to foam level, and we'll work from there. But I may just let you look at that a little bit. I may set up the camera and just take a couple short videos of that while I'm removing all of that stuff. And then I'll tell you what kind of ideas we had there. And I hope I remember what I just told you. Okay, so as you can see, I have some of the buildings removed. I think I removed most of the loose things with the exception of the water tank back there and the people that are laying there by that dock. And I'm going to get those off of there, and then I'm going to try and lift a couple of these buildings out of there. And hopefully I'll let you see me get the car shop and the engine house out of there. But we'll see how long this takes. I'm sorry if my whistling comes through on the video. I tend to whistle under my breath as I work, kind of like the dwarfs, I guess. I don't know why that's all binding up. Let me see what I have here. Well, here's a prime example. This has all been glued down, and look, if I touch it, the foam bends underneath it and off it comes. It's just putting it on top of that foam is not a good idea. Here's another example right here. Let me see if I can move this. If I push on this, look, if I push on that concrete, look what it does. That just can't be. But anyway, let me, instead of boring you with me sitting here fiddling with this, let me take these structures off of here, wet this down a little bit, get these wires up out of here, and then we'll take a look at what it's going to look like, and I'll talk to you about what the plan is. Okay, everybody. This is about 15 or 20 minutes of work, and you can see that I have a lot of the concrete out in front of where the car shop was. I've got some more wire to disconnect underneath. I do have the fuel rack pulled out of the plaster, which is a good thing. It came out in one good piece, so I can salvage that. Although I've got to obviously disconnect the light. So I've got some more light disconnecting to do before I try and remove more, but I'll update you guys when I get some more out. Oh, okay, gang, here we are, another step closer. You can see that most of the buildings are off. The engine house is ready to come off. And then I'm not sure exactly where to stop back there because I'm not sure what I'm doing with that track in the back. But we're going to continue on, and you'll be able to see how it progresses. I don't know what else to tell you right now, but we'll pull some more stuff off and go from there. Okay, everybody, here is the pretty much ready to go product. Let me just pan down. Let me real quickly grab something to point with. Okay, you can see that switch right over there. That's the switch that used to bring everything into the yard and everything would distribute from there. I need to put a left-hand switch there so that I can have a track that comes down and basically follows this route right here, and we'll join up with this track right here, which is the reversing loop. But somewhere in here, probably close to the reversing loop, I'm going to have to put in a turnout, and that turnout will take a track in a pretty sharp curve right here. And at about, let me get my hand out of there, and let me try and move this. I'm hoping to get a track that comes out of there in about that angle, because I want to put the car shop, I want to have the track that goes through the engine house go into one side of the car shop. That is the plan. Now, I don't know whether I can fit all that baloney in here. I'm going to have to lay a bunch of track out and see what works. If not, the plan will have to change somewhat. I am also thinking about taking this and bringing the scrapyard over on the other end of the layout that's kind of back in the back where you can't see it. It's too detailed just to leave it over there where you can't really see it. So I was thinking about bringing that over here somewhere. I'm not really sure. I don't know. This is going to be quite a task here to try and curve these, not curve, but angle these buildings. But the problem is that the problem for us was that all this track was too linear. That all these tracks right here and the buildings and everything went straight into the yard, and it was just too much straight stuff down here. So the idea is to change the angle of the two main buildings, which are the engine house and the car shop. I guess another thought would be to put them right here, bring a track around this way and put them right here. I don't know. Maybe bring the scrapyard right over here, and then just beyond the scrapyard, put the engine house and stuff in here at an angle like this track is angled somewhat. That might be the thought. From that point, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I mean, I've got a lot of space to fill in there, so I'm not real sure how all that's going to tie in together. But I want to get those buildings closer to the front of the layout, those three things closer to the front of the layout, have enough room to put the fueling facility out in front of the engine shop once again, and then have another track beside that goes into the other side of the car shop that goes on the outside of the engine house, if that makes any sense. But all of that, and the unfortunate thing is I may have to resort to some number 4 turnouts. And you guys know how much I love those. But since everything's going to come off of that switch right over there, I think I can come with a number 6 and make a turn here, which would bring me down at an angle here where I could put, somewhere in here, where I could put the junkyard. Then I could come off of there with another turnout, left-hand turnout, and I think I could come back and get to a point where I could put the other two, the engine house and the car shop in this long section right here at an angle, paralleling the junkyard. That may be the idea. Not real sure. Then obviously I'm going to have a couple more switches somewhere in here to get stuff back over there, fill in that area back over there. And that stuff can be, because it's back there so far, it can be pretty nondescript. When I say that, I don't really know what that means. They can be buildings that aren't important. But I did too much work on the engine house, the car shed, and the junkyard to not put them forward and front and center on the layout here. Another thing that might require is removing that switch. I cannot remove this loop because this is a reversing loop. So there has to be 3 loops here. Obviously these two guys are the 2 main lines now. This is the reversing loop. It's the only reversing loop I have coming out of this end of the yard. Well, it's the second reversing loop. The other one, as you know, is on the other end of the layout. So That switch will probably have to come out, and that switch may be a good candidate to put over there. But we shall see. I might just go ahead and put this video out just so you guys know what's happening. It probably won't be a very long video, but at least you guys will know where my brain's at with this. Okay, everybody, this was kind of a jacked up video the way I put it together. It's just it obviously didn't turn out kind of the way I wanted it to, but I hope you get the concept of what I'm trying to do. And I don't know what I'm trying to do. As opposed to the underside, you know, when I put the lower level on or changed the lower level, I knew exactly what I was going to do, what I was going to move where, and all of that. Up here, I don't know. It's like a free range area, so all my little buildings and things I have are more or less like free range chickens until I figure out, you know, where they can go. It's just going to be free for all there. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated, and I know that I said this was going to come out on Sunday, but I had so much video of just getting the stuff off there that I just wanted to go ahead and put this 105 out. But anyway, you've heard me rambling and rambling and rambling, but I'm done now, and thanks for watching.